Hey, welcome back to the Photography Club. I'm your host, Sue. Did you know as a photographer, you can host your own events to get everyone talking about your business, and it's going to make your brand stand out more. It's going to make you be about more than just the photos. And it's going to create a community which will lead to lifelong customers. So today I'm talking with Zoelle. We actually just recorded another episode. If you didn't listen to it, you should go listen to it and hear more about her business and working with brands. But today I'm going to be chatting about my high school senior rep team, which is basically like having a group of brand ambassadors representing your business that can share about your experience when they work with you and get others asking that question of, wait, why is everyone talking about this photographer? I want to be a part of this, just really creating an experience that they can share. I like to think of my photo shoots for my senior rep team like PR events. Like it's a fun event where I host, I have games, snacks, and then there's photos. And then the girls who are my reps or my models show up to these events and they're basically like little influencers who get to come to these events for free in exchange for posting about their experience and sharing content. So, I'm going to be talking with Zoelle, who has her own business called Catwalk Carnival, where she puts on events like this for brands. And you should go check out our last episode if you haven't, because she talks all about that. My first question for you, Zoelle, which, first of all, hi. Sorry, I haven't even
No, it's
let
totally
you
fine.
talk yet.
I'm so excited to be back for round 2.
Yes. So, my first question for you is when you reach out to these influencers or kind of framed in the way as my high school senior models who maybe are a little bit afraid to do something like this. They don't have a ton of experience like that. How would you make it really exciting where these girls feel like this is truly an incredible opportunity and kind of like get them more excited to post more and be involved more, if that makes sense?
100%. I think framing it in a way that there's an exciting graphic attached to the email. It's not just an email with writing. I think creating imagery behind it, using your own creative spin as a photographer, as a brand to get, these smaller, less experienced creators involved, especially at that high school level. I also think including all of the perks. What activations are you going to have? What different snacks are you going to have? What types of photos are you going to be taking? What's the theme of the shoot? What should they wear? Can they bring a friend? Are they able to bring a plus one? Framing it in ways that really do make it feel exciting, kind of letting them know this is a resume experience, this is a creative portfolio builder, letting them know different ways that the event can also benefit them and get them really excited about it. More in that like college, professional job application setting as well.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's really helpful. I love that you mentioned the resume and the college because Zoelle and I were kind of talking about too how a lot of these brands are looking to work with college students. And so if this was something a high schooler might be interested in pursuing, building a personal brand and getting these opportunities, that can really help to build their portfolio and benefit them in the future.
100%. I think it's a really great strategy.
So Zoelle in our last episode mentioned her first event that she did when she started her business Catwalk Carnival, where she basically hosts events where brands will come and participate in these events, and then she also invites creators who come to these events and support these brands. And Zoelle mentioned how in her very first event that she hosted, she didn't have any kind of contract with these creators. She just it was very organic. Everyone just was there and showed up to support each other. So, can you talk about how you made that happen and how you got people to want to post when there's not any kind of requirement?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And it has me thinking about a few different avenues that I went down to curate this organic experience that people wanted to post about. So I thought in my brain, I'm a micro creator. I'm not really invited to these types of events. What would I want to see at these events
Mm.
that I would get excited to post about? And our name was Catwalk, or it still is Catwalk Carnival, but kind of rebranding to Catwalk Group. But at the time, I was like,
Okay.
what can we do to encompass that like carnival, but the fashion vibe? Because it was a New York Fashion Week event. So we collaborated with circus performers and they were
Oh.
doing crazy tricks, and they had a lyra wheel, and they were in amazing costumes. So that was the first thing that anyone would see when they basically walked into the event space. We also had a red carpet moment with a step and repeat backdrop. So after the influencers checked in, they would have to stop at the red carpet with our photographer. Then they would be able to go upstairs to the event space, see the circus performers. Then we had a bow bar where we had professional hairstylists doing little bow hairdos and incorporating that. At the time, bows were very popular, so it was very relevant with the times. We also had a
Mhm.
charm bar station where we had a jeweler putting together little charm necklaces, charm bracelets that was customizable. So really curating these activations that were customizable. We also had a gifting suite, we had a DJ, we had a wine wall. So really curating moments that felt like people or micro creators like myself would organically want to post, to be like, this is the event I was at, these are the touch points. And I kind of put myself in the creator's shoes to kind of figure that part of the puzzle out.
Yeah.
I will say, aside from curating the event very specifically with these activation sponsors and different touch points and elements, ahead of the event, I went into all of these different micro creator group chats that I was a part of, and I basically told people about what the event was kind of going to be like. It was our first ever New York Fashion Week event, but we wanted to create this accessible and safe space for creators to kind of come together during fashion's busiest week and uplift one another through networking, community connection, etc. So
Okay.
really relaying that organic mission to different creators within the community. And then once I kind of set up the Eventbrite, so originally we used Eventbrite as our platform. We basically just made all the tickets free, like everything was free. Of course, it was a
Mhm.
free creator event. And once we started to get RSVPs coming in, I would send out mass emails to those people that were RSVPing from these creator group chats, letting them know we're going to have X, Y, and Z brand sponsors here. And it's kind of like that postcard I mentioned in the last episode, where I would send all of the tags, send what each of those brands or those individual people were doing in terms of services. So everything from the circus performers to the event venue to the photographers to the DJ, everything was sponsored. So really explaining to them that everyone's dedicating their time and their services and their products for free, so you guys can have this really elevated networking experience. But I think a lot of these creators really valued that because we didn't have a follower count requirement. We were kind of inviting
Mhm.
anyone into the space. So I think they were seeing the value of, we're going to come. This is going to be an amazing event curated just specifically for them. But in exchange, they wanted to organically post because the event was so intentional. And we did, ask them ahead of time organically if they could not meet any posting requirements, but if they can hype up all the brands involved while
Okay.
they were there.
Okay. I love that. So it sounds like the post pre
Pretty,
okay. Yeah. It sounds like the pre-planning is
yes.
a big part of it, and so as photographers, you might host some kind of group photo shoot for your rep team or something, and then nobody really posts, and it might just be because they don't really know what it is you want from them.
Yes.
So, sending out that email before letting them know, like, "Hey, these brands are dedicating their time to be here," seems like it would be a really big help.
Yeah, and especially, like, from the photographer lens, like, as a photographer, if you have your own team that's, helping you with these photo shoots and you're working with them, reaching out to brands. They love working with Gen Alpha, like I mentioned. So reaching out to brands like,
Mhm.
"Hey, do you wanna send over clothing for this shoot? Do you wanna send over product? Do you wanna send over some makeup so we can do a little, like, touch-up station and we can work with a local makeup artist?" Like, thinking of different ways to get, like, local and major brands involved, and then, yes, essentially reaching out to your team ahead of time, letting them know, like, this is what we're going to have on site, even if it's just poppy sodas, a charcuterie board, and we have like a really cute shoot theme, letting them know, like, I would love to, for you guys to post some stories in live time, like hyping up the shoot, like getting the exposure out
Okay.
there. And then maybe after the event, like we can talk about, or like I can even help you as like a mentor to, create some awesome reels or TikToks and, really just like help promote the brand and be a more meaningful part of my community or your community in this instance, Sue.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed to hear too. I love that.
Yay.
Okay, and then I how do you how do you create a sense of community going into these events? Because it's a little nerve-wracking when you don't know anyone, you're showing up without a plus one, and I know having those activities where they can actually do stuff is really helpful, but do you have any other tips for creating that kind of environment, culture, community?
I think ensuring that whoever you're inviting into your specific space is a people person. They want to learn more. They want to become friends with more people. They are very passionate in that sense. I think it's all about their personality. Obviously, there will be some more soft spoken people that don't naturally have that outspoken personality and persona. So I think when it comes to those people, but that are still great and have the same qualities and same interests and whatnot, I think especially in more intimate sized shoots and events like that, doing some icebreakers that are fun and cute, doing a never have I ever, things that are more relevant to the age group that you're with as
Mhm.
well. Um, Doing a challenge or an activity, thinking of, like, some silly, like, obviously not the sexual Love Island stuff, but the fun, like, little activities that they do or, like, something a
Okay.
little bit more proactive, or you can even do, like, a little bouquet making station and, the girls can chat, you can do conversation cards. There's so many ways to incorporate an ice breaking session or, like, a little activity ahead of the shoot or whatever you are doing at your event to ensure everyone feels really, really comfortable and good going into it and that they feel like they can or have already made a new friend and feel comfortable around the other people that they are surrounded with.
I love that, yeah, that's so helpful, such good tips. And then, do you have any ideas of kind of events or activities that photographers might be able to do at an event like this? Because I know you had, like, your whole circus thing, and that is really cool to get them to want to share. It's like you had something so cool, they're, of course, gonna wanna share that because that's incredible. So one thing I'm doing is I actually I have a girl who presses on these patches onto hats, onto the little, like, Western hats, and so I have, like, a hat station at our next photo shoot this weekend where the girls get to go and customize their own hats, so I do have that, and then I'm gonna have them tag that brand, of course, but I'm curious what other ideas you might have for photographers.
Yeah, I think, there's and you're more positioning this question at like an event that you would be hosting as a photographer.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, I really feel like playing into where you live and working with local businesses always has been such a top strategy for me. So being from New York and hosting a ton of New York based events, we've worked with and obviously any sort of activation at a photography event or just at a normal creator event, like it's all valued in the same sense because everyone loves to have that personalized activation and immersive experience. So we've done everything from you can collaborate with like a yoga or Pilates teacher and do like a 30-minute yoga session ahead of the
Ooh,
event. And you can shoot that too, but then
I
you can
love
have
wait, I've never thought of that. So good,
stuff like
so
that
good.
where it's like an interactive activity, and then you can have the
Mhm.
girls change. You can also, after the little yoga, Pilates mat class, you can have, a makeup artist come into the space or a hairstylist, and you can collaborate with them for the girls to post, but then they can help them prep after they just maybe, like, sweat a little bit and, like, make them look really good and ready to go. You can do color analysis, which would be really fun for a
Ooh.
photo shoot because it's kind of helping the individual models figure out, like, what colors look the best on them, and they can have that, like, one-on-one intimate experience. You can always do, like, a branded matcha station or a smoothie station. Things like that I think are always really fun. You can set up a mini gifting suite. You can reach out to brands ahead of time. So many food and bev brands specifically are always willing to just send you or send anyone kind of like whatever if you have the right contact. So setting up a little
Mhm.
station with like smart sweets and poppy and some beauty products and some lifestyle products, that they can kind of come in and grab a little goodie bag, mingle and network ahead of time. Other things that I've seen work really well and that are a bit different, I think doing, like, anything with customization. So I love that you're doing a hat bar. I think a hat bar is always so much fun, a really great way to, have the creators showcase, who they are. Also as, like, an individual, I think doing anything with beauty, B12 shots, anything like that, and most of these people that I'm mentioning, and most of these services are local services. So really just like going into town,
Yeah.
going into your little city, connecting with whoever is there, kind of pitching them who you are as a photographer, what your mission is, how you have this incredible high school team that you work with. And a lot of these brands and businesses do see the value in giving back to the younger generation. And also, pitching them that exposure aspect that, they will post stories, like you'll post organically on your page as well. And there's so many other activities I can get into as well.
Literally,
I
you're
think
so
that's like a
good.
good start for, some recommendations that I
Guys,
have.
she just came up with those on the top of her head, like, I did not send her any prep, she's just going, she's so good at this.
Thank you. Thank
Wow,
you.
literally, I'm taking notes, I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go back and listen to this
You're like,
episode." So good.
gotta get it all done. Even like, it's just making me think like a little massage bar or just like anything like
Yes.
wellness related to, I feel like always works so well.
Yeah, and the local aspect, I love that you mentioned that too, because these girls are all in high school, and high schoolers talk. Like, that could be huge for supporting your local community and these
Mhm.
local businesses. I feel like that's a huge leverage that really could be taken advantage of more in especially these smaller communities.
And I definitely even think like I social media was not how it is when I was in high school, but if I were in high school now and I saw a group of girls like posting like I just got this free hot patch bar experience because I'm on this specific photography team and this was an event I went to, I would literally be so jealous in the best way possible, and you would probably want to immediately go click on that tag of that hot bar and figure out where it is, who it is, all of the things,
Exactly.
and then you wanna go with your friend group and actually pay for that experience, making it more of a, KPI monetary thing for the brand that they're actually getting sales based off of the social exposure as well.
Yeah, I love that. So I want to ask you about actually pitching this idea and pitching myself to brands because this is something I've struggled with. I see how much value there is in something like this for the brand, but I get really scared and then I promise so much stuff that I can't do it. So for example, I like pay for the products that I'm giving to these girls and then I also am going to teach all of the girls to create content for these brands so this brand is getting my paid, like, I'm paying them for the products, and then they're gonna get all of these social media tags and posts, and I want to get to a place where I can present the value and just, like, show them, like, "Hey, do you wanna gift anything?" Because that's just too much on my end, and I really wanna
Yeah.
make this work, but I struggle with showing the value, and I just, like, get scared. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly love the idea that you are showing the girls how to create content with these products. So I think that in itself is a selling point where you should not be paying for the product. I think almost framing your pitch as like, I am essentially going to host a master class and I want to include like your brand's product, and I'm going to, go through with the girls like how to use the product but also how to create content with that specific product. And I can see you can get like little like think of like, I keep referencing Love Island, but like when they have their glam room and they all have like their little mirrors, like you can do a table and everyone has like a little mirror and then in front of their mirror is like a collection of different products, and then you can kind of get up and show them like this is how I would A record with this product, but B this is how you use the product and these are the benefits. I think brands
Mm,
are always looking for a photographer or a brand or an agency or whoever it is or a person that is able to actually accurately represent their product and the benefits to creators, and that always does not shine through even on paid contracted influencer campaigns.
yeah.
Creators aren't showcasing the correct benefits or the correct verbiage, etc. So I think when it comes to you pitching to brands for free product in exchange for this content, I think you really need to showcase. I would put together a little one pager of the girls on your team, their
Okay.
social handles, a photo of them with like a link in their name to their social handles, and maybe just estimated reach that they can all get to within their follower counts specifically. And even if it's not large, I think you can say this is a group of Gen Alpha women who are very excited. They are going to be the new faces of this industry one day, like in the sense that like they're so on like the younger side of it that they're only going to continue to grow, and they're already so interested and passionate about being
Mhm.
a part of this. And I think really just showcasing that you will be able and they will be able to deliver content results and content basically tagging the brand exclusively or tagging X, Y, and Z brands or whatever it is. I think having some sort of plan, like, if you send me products, we will give you this in exchange is really like
Okay.
how I like to frame it, because once brands know, oh, I'm actually going to get a post or I'm actually going to get a story with a professional photographer involved, I think it becomes way more valuable to them versus like, hey, can you just send products for my street team and you're not giving any background on who those people
Mhm.
are, what type of posts are gonna come out of it. I think guaranteeing and promising some sort of like story or in-feed post from each girl, and then also on your own personal page where you do have a hefty following, that becomes way more valuable. And I think like I love when you create your different videos, like come with me on this sort of shoot or come with me to, shoot, and like sometimes it's like an obscene, like you're in a motel with these like designer gorgeous dresses or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
I feel like trying to strategically pitch to brands to incorporate their product in a way that can also translate to a viral experience on your end
Mm.
as well.
Okay, that's so good, and I'm sure just getting the practice, because this is my first year doing something like this, and so
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little overwhelmed because 'cause I'm, like, buying all these products to support these businesses and then teaching, so I'm sure just, like, getting the practice and then being able to showcase the results of, like, what
I was
actually
gonna
happened.
say, yes, like, showcasing, like, what you have done thus far too, like, with purchasing products, and you can be like, "I've literally done this, I've purchased products before, and this was the end result of that, but now we're really looking to, this was my proof of concept, now we're really looking to collaborate on a gifting level." And
Mhm.
I will say most brands have tons of inventory to gift, so if you are talking to the right person, also going on LinkedIn, finding who heads their gifting, who heads their marketing, like, reaching out to people like that, as well directly versus just like a PR email at a company, and you're like getting in front of someone's eyeballs direct, like they will see and value your mission. And if someone is telling you no, you're not asking the right brand. The right brand will say, "Oh my gosh, this sounds great. We trust you. We want to see what you can do," and then you can go from there.
Exactly, and if you guys wanna hear more about actually working with brands, go listen to our last episode because Zoelle dove into that and indeed even further, so she had some great tips there, and then can you okay, I'll tell you my structure of how I'm trying to get these girls to post because they are high schoolers, like, they're busy, and it's
Totally.
scary if they have never showed up on social media before. I know it
Yeah.
can be a little intimidating, so I don't know how well they're actually gonna be able to show up and represent on social media. So the way I am trying to approach it is I'm making the posting optional, but I'm giving bonus points if they do post. So, like, not even dependent on how well it performs, but it's like, okay, you get 5 points if you post a reel representing this brand, and then their points can go towards things like extra photo shoots. What are your thoughts on that kind of structure or framework to get them to want to post?
Yeah, I think a competition-based system, it's not like you're saying, it's not really like they're pitted against each other, but they're getting points for extra incentives. I
Mhm.
think it does work to an extent. I will say kind of managing expectations at the beginning and more or less trying to pick people that you feel that will be comfortable or are currently comfortable with posting to kind of be like, "Okay, uh these really exciting brands are going to send us product, but like we do need you guys to be able to, showcase this on social media." So I think having and like managing expectations from the beginning. But let's
Okay.
say we're already in the process already, and like there are some girls that might be a little bit shyer about it or not as comfortable showcasing these moments on social. I think you can I love incentivizing them with like points to, get another photo shoot with you or this and that. I think you can also leverage with like different products. So like let's
Mhm.
say all of the girls are currently obsessed with like the Rode phone case, like being like, okay, and like that's not something that's like a very like expensive item, but it's like a cool item that people love. Like you investing in a $35 phone case and a lip gloss, being like, okay, the next person who posts like this, and this type of content, or you all post from this photo shoot, like, well, or whoever's content performs the highest from this specific shoot will get this phone case. And that
Oh, I
So
love that
bring
idea.
in some,
Okay.
like, friendly competition of,
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I wanna post this, I wanna post this, well, I'm gonna post this," and it's kind of like, "Oh, let's see, whose content is performing, let's see who's engaging." So I think different ways to bring in friendly competition, in that sense to, like, incentivize the girls to want to, win something or,
Yeah.
create meaningful content, I think is very important as well, in that sense to kind of break them out of their shell. And I also think doing like a content masterclass, like I mentioned
Mhm.
before, kind of explaining to them like what the benefits are of creating content, why you should start creating your creative portfolio at the age that they are right now, why having a digital footprint is really important if you wanna be a full-time influencer or creator one day. Kind of showcasing them the perks of, they might not know, "Do I wanna be an influencer? Do I wanna be a doctor?" In high school, it's such an unknown at that point.
Mhm.
But I do think generally, high schoolers are very strong and opinionated and confident in that sense. So I feel like being able to explain to them all of the different pros and the cons too. I think
Mhm.
being brutally honest about, what this industry is like and, why the street team is important and, what you want to do with it as well in terms of like getting products donated and getting sponsors at the events and being able to bring in like-minded individuals who are open to creating content and like doing a test run essentially with you to see if they are enjoying it. And yeah, it might be scary. You're like, I don't want Brad from gym class to see what I'm posting. I don't want him to think I'm a weirdo because I have a crush on him. I
Yeah.
think at the end of the day, and this is always a piece of advice that I like to share. It's like, and this is so cliche, but like, you should never care what anyone else thinks about you. I think if you are doing something that makes you happy, if you love taking photos, you love putting out your personal thoughts and, whatever into the world and into the world of social media specifically, who cares what Brad from gym class thinks? Because in 5 years, Brad from gym class may very well be working for the local McDonald's, and you may very well be running a whole brand, and you might be a top tier creator. So I always say like if you're interested in it, at the very least, you might as well try to explore what can happen if you go all in. If you're doing something half-assed, like you're just posting, here and there, and you come to Sue's photo shoots and you're not consistent, who knows what can end up happening because you're not giving it your all. I think if you're going to be on a team like this where you want to work with, really cool brands and you might be a little nervous to post, I think and I say just go for it because you never know what can happen and you never know what doors and opportunities can open for you, especially since college is approaching and there's so many different opportunities in that world as well.
Okay, so at my next photo shoot, I'm gonna play our podcast. Okay, listen to this pep talk really quick from
You're
Zoelle.
like, we have to do a sit down. We're gonna do a little movie moment. That's so funny. I love that.
That was so good. Seriously, so many helpful tips there. And one more question, I guess, kind of similar to just like that fear of judgment from other people. One concern I have is the competition aspect of it. I don't want these girls to be intimidated by each other. You know, if one of them is like really into the influencer stuff and doing really good, and I do have a little bit of more shy girls, but I really wanna push them outside their comfort zone to do stuff like this, and I wanna create more of a community with it and not like the best person gets all the benefits, which I did love that gift idea, and I think I'm gonna incorporate that maybe instead of the points because it's a little less stress on me. It's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I just buy this one thing. I don't
Yeah.
have to do a whole 'nother photo shoot." So I love that idea, but do you have any maybe tips to make sure it doesn't get too competitive or these girls still feel like a big part of the community?
Yeah, I think something major is having a group chat with your team or a group me or an Instagram DM chat. Honestly, an Instagram chat might be the best and hear me out because I don't typically use Instagram chats, but having like an engagement chat essentially so
Mm,
whenever any of the girls post, they can send their post in it so the other girls can go like and hype it up and it's more of like an uplifting, inclusive community feeling versus like, oh my
yes.
god, she posted, like I need to post now. It's more like let's uplift one another, let's give each other comments because I think a lot of people are also nervous to post because they're like who's even going to
Mhm.
comment on this? Because in reality, most of the time, your best friend won't even comment on your like influencer type of content. This happens to me literally 24/7.
Mhm.
people that I know are not commenting on my stuff, but people that I don't know that I've met through this influencer world are hyping me up like no other. So I think it's beyond important to essentially say, like, yes, we can have friendly competitions, but at the end of the day, like, all of you girls should be liking, commenting, hyping each other up, using this Instagram engagement chat or this TikTok engagement chat or just like a regular group chat where people can send their stuff. And obviously it's not a requirement, but I think having a
Mhm.
group of girls that sees the value in that and like that, yes, you're a whole family, you guys want what's best for one another and you want to be able to support one another when you are posting content that might feel a little bit like overwhelming or scary just because you're not used to being in that world yet, I think is super important. And to know that you have like a little content family to lie back on and you know that you'll get engagement from them. I think that's all that matters at the end of the
That's
day.
huge. Literally, that is perfect. That's so good because even as a photographer, I literally have those group chats on Instagram. I'm
Yes,
like, "Okay, guys, I
they're the
posted," like
best. And you know instantly that you're gonna get at least some love and some
Mhm.
validation. Come on, we all want the validation when we work so hard in creating a video or an Instagram post. And you know, at the end of the day, the validation, the comments, the likes don't matter as long as you're happy with what you're putting out there and you're not comparing yourself to anyone else online, which is so hard to do, I will say. But sometimes I would rather just like post a cute little post that I put together and not even scroll. I just post it
Mhm.
because I like it. I don't really need to scroll to compare myself or see what other people are doing. I think it gives me a lot more peace of mind in that sense
Yeah.
too. Also being in those group chats being like, "Hey, I just posted. Now I can shut off my phone and maybe I'll look back tomorrow and see like how my engagement did." But at the end of the day, it's more because I liked what I posted and I want that to be on my profile. And I don't really care what engagement is necessarily gonna come out of it, but it is nice knowing that you have a community to fall back on to be like, you know, if you guys wanna show my post some love, like, please do, and, it
Yes.
is nice when you do open up your phone and you see a couple of those comments from people that you work with, on, you know, on a team or on a day-to-day basis as well.
That's so true. So, in the future, if I were to get bigger brand deals where they're actually sending me products and stuff, would you recommend I do get a contract with these girls? Maybe it's like a contract for one specific event where it's like, if you want to participate in this, you do need to post something. I don't know. I don't want to make it like require, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think my model has my business model in that sense where we do very informal contracts to essentially ensure that A, people are actually going to show up because some people don't show up if there's no contract and they don't understand
Mhm.
what you put into the event and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sick," or "Oh, I have this going on, like so sorry, can't make it last minute." So I think the contract A ensures that the creators are going to show up, which is very helpful, but it can be super informal. All it can really say is like, "You're going to show up to my event on this date during these times, and this is the type of post that I want from it because these brands are involved." And so
Okay.
I think having that to fall back on is very essential when pitching to brands, being like, "We have contracts with these girls that they'll be, you know, posting like a reel or an in feed or a story." Like you can kind of figure it out based on like what your goals are for that specific shoot.
Okay.
But like let's say it was a shoot and you guys were gonna be working with Poppy.
Mhm.
And you were like, "Oh, we're gonna shoot for Poppy, and, like, we're gonna go out into a meadow with, like, really cute cows and, like, whatever, and it's gonna be, like, a Western theme." I think when you're pitching to Poppy, you know, letting them know, like, "Hey, this is the theme of the shoot. These are the creators," and you can give them a sample list of, like, who's on your team to essentially be like, "These are most likely going to be the girls or the type of girls that are going to be coming." And then you can let them know, "We are contracting these girls to make a little reel of behind the scenes of the photo shoot, incorporating Poppy and tagging Poppy and then you specifically
Mm.
as a photographer."
Yeah.
And then Poppy's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, love that. We're gonna get a ton of organic social content. Let's send them a ton of product." Then they'll agree to send you guys product. And then you'll go out to the girls with the very informal contract. "Hey, you would need to just make a reel from attending this photo shoot. You'll get free Poppy, you'll get the pictures. We're also partnering with a makeup artist to do glam touch-ups ahead of the photo shoot, and you can, like, throw up a little story for them." But essentially, it would just be a reel tagging Poppy and myself, and then a story tagging this makeup artist. And then you would just need to come to the shoot during X time, but this is all the value we're providing. You can put this on your resume, you can add this to your creative portfolio. You can say that you worked with the Poppy brands, like, all of these, like, major things that are very meaningful to someone trying to break into the industry. And I've seen 9 times out of 10, you are gonna get everyone that you want to invite to come,
Yeah.
even contract.
That's so good. This episode has been so helpful, Zoelle, which this is perfect timing because I literally have my first photo shoot with these girls on Saturday.
I'm
And
so
so the
excited for
fact that
you.
this
You
worked
have to
out the
tell me
way
how it goes.
I will, I'll tell you. And I'm gonna watch these episodes and take notes and then prepare and just like prepare ahead of time. I love that you said that. So prepare ahead of time, letting them know which brands are gonna be there and just like getting that support and then really just hyping up what can happen when you do this kind of stuff, when you hop into the content creator world and showing them what's possible.
100%. And I think the possibilities are endless. So I'm really excited for you to bring that to them. And I think for this weekend, really tapping into having a hat sponsor there and getting them strategically to create some amazing content that you can put into a portfolio to use when you're pitching to other brands in the future.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you so much, Zoelle. What do you have coming up? Is there anything exciting you can share with us?
Oh my goodness. So right now in the pipeline, I can't say too much, but we are currently we're in the early phases and stages of planning a brand trip for a major beauty brand,
No way.
happening like end of summer timing. So stay tuned because I'm really excited to kind of showcase what we've been working on. You can follow us on Instagram or TikTok at Catwalk Carnival, and so excited to watch you guys grow and also for you to watch us grow as well. And I really appreciate you taking the time today, Sue. It was such a pleasure to catch
Oh,
up and answer all of your
yes.
questions, and it was so much fun.
Yes, literally same. Thank you so much for taking the time and so good. So many good tips. You guys take notes and eat this up.
I hope that they all do. And yeah, it's gonna be a really good rest of 2026. And I know that everyone listening, if you take any of my notes, I really hope that it brings you major success in the future.
I love that so much. Thank you.